So I don't want to take much time because you have already elaborated about your presentation. So I will go for the next speaker, and she is Miss Maryana Stovban. You're welcome, madam. And this Miss Maryana is a specialist of recreational department, Carpathian National Park, Nature Park, and chairperson NGO Promocarpathian, Ukraine. And her topic of presentation is ecotourism in mountains. And I welcome you. And now the floor is yours.
Dear of Summerfield School, dear lectors, and I'm from Ukraine, representing the Ukrainian Carpathians, and having been working for the national park for the last 7 years and running NGO Promocarpathians for the last 2 years. Both for national park and NGO, I work in the direction of ecotourism development, community projects within cooperation with Peace Corps Ukraine, and of course, promotion and investments. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Hasrat for providing me with an opportunity to share my knowledge and experience about ecotourism in mountains. And during my presentation, I would like to be focused on assets, challenges, and prospects of ecotourism using the example of the Carpathian National Nature Park. Assets and their role for ecotourism. Ecotourism is, first of all, an opportunity. It's an opportunity for nature to be treated nicely. It's an opportunity for local inhabitants as an additional source of income, and it's an opportunity for tourists as an additional possibility to improve their health, get portion of new knowledge, and of course to enjoy nature. Before you think about developing of ecotourism in your area, you think about inventory of assets. Of course, each mountain region has its own assets. Georgia speaks floristic and faunistic diversity, natural springs, rapid rivers, magnificent waterfalls, culture of indigenous inhabitants. So each region, of course, must be special. Step 2 is to make each season special. Each season, of course, is perfect for visitors. The most important you should think about is additional activities and entertainments for tourists. For example, entertainments and activities during rainy autumn days, winter blizzards, or muddy spring days. You should think about workshops, conferences, and festivals to attract more tourists to your sites. Spring is the period when mountains awaken from winter nocturnal slumber. It's time of carpet of herbs and flowers covering the ground. And of course, it's time for exciting Easter traditions. Summer is easily the most popular season for visiting. Autumn, when crowds fade away. It's time when the mushroom kingdom spreads across the landscape. It's time for carriage rides, birds watching, sightseeing, evening indoors, harvest, and the traditional wedding season that follows. In the Ukrainian Carpathians, traditionally autumn was the most popular wedding season. So using traditions, we can think about activities for tourists in autumn. Winter is frozen waterfalls and snowy mountain peaks. In addition to museum and winter outdoor activities, you can soak in hot tubs or traditional banyas, and of course, it's a great possibility to celebrate Christmas twice. First Catholic and then Orthodox Christmas in the mountains. There is no doubt that the best place for ecotourism is the nature protected area, reserve or the national park. It should come as not surprise to learn that the heart of the Ukrainian Carpathians is the Carpathian National Nature Park. It's the first national park of Ukraine and one of the largest protective areas in Ukraine. Within the park's boundaries, you'll find mountain ecosystems boasting Ukraine's highest peaks. The highest ridge of Ukrainian Carpathians, Chernogora Ridge, is located within national park's boundaries with its 5 highest peaks exceeding 2,000 meters above the sea level. Endowed with a favorable climate, our 1,000 plant and animal and mushroom species thrive, and our 170 species are endangered here. The unique geographical location, mountain relief, scenic landscapes, as well as a variety of natural resources in the mountain areas create great opportunities for ecotourism development. Visitors are provided with several tourism trails, such as nature discovery trails, hiking trails, biking, and horse riding trails. There is no better way than hiking to see and to discover the mountains. The Ukrainian Carpathians have one of the longest network of hiking trails in Europe. The total length of trails within the national park is about 400 kilometers. Here you can see the most visited and the most popular. Our attraction is Varla, the highest peak of the Ukrainian Carpathians, PP1 Mount with its astronomic laboratory on the top, and Khomyak with its stony placers, Dolbush, dedicated to the Ukrainian Robin Hood, Alexa Dolbush, and of course our ecotourism visitor center. In addition to doing inventory of assets and making each season special, you must think carefully about ecotourism affinity groups. For example, before developing the web page Discover Carpathians.com, first of all, NGO Promocarpathians, together with Peace Corps volunteers, worked about a month very carefully on determining of key affinity groups of our area for ecotourism. So we figured it out that our affinity groups are adventurers, conservationists, historians, and romantic group. For the rest of affinity groups mentioned, we feel the lack of infrastructure, entertainments, and activities. Of course, here there are not all affinity groups which are possible to work with as ecotourism groups in mountains. We can find much more. For example, if you work with affinity groups which are not mentioned here in the slide, you can write in your comments. As each issue, ecotourism has its own challenges. Forests in the developing countries are sometimes unprotected in front of people's avarice. The forests in the Ukrainian Carpathians are still owned by a state. The Carpathians, especially basins of Prut, Tesa, and Dniester rivers, are the most fragile flooding areas. Floods and freshets are common for these areas. Frequent and rapids simultaneously covering the area from 10 to 30,000 square kilometers, they cause catastrophic consequences. Rainy summers, winters without snow, and floods in summer caused by climate change make ecotourism really challenging in the mountains. Litter in the mountains make them not attractive for tourists, while the absence of social advertisement about the importance of litter separation causes a big number of low-conscious tourists. Some tourist attractions, like Hoverla in Ukraine, suffers from huge quantities of visitors, while other tourism attractions and hiking trails are not equipped enough for hiking. Bureaucracy makes decision-making process very slow. And that's why some projects could last not several months, but several years because of bureaucracy. Now I would like to share with you a conservational video which was produced with our partners in the framework of the project Conservation of Primeval Forests. One moment. This video is in Ukrainian, but it has English subtitles.
Можеш її почути, і ти маєш її побачити. А хто побачив і почув, той здатний виконати свою місію. Зберегти життя легенді. Карпати. Вони досі сповнені сили та величі. Вони здатні зцілювати та надихати. Вони безмежні для людського погляду, безцінні для людського серця і беззахисні перед лицем людської жадоби. Здається, що тебе це не стосується. Здається, що це високо і далеко. Здається, що лісу вистачить усім. Але це не так. Карпати. Вони щодня нищаться, спотворюються, знекровлюються та руйнуються. На наших очах розгортається масштабна драма, біль, помилка, а можливо злочин. Чи зможеш залишитись ти осторонь, чи схочеш залишитись байдужим? Вирішуй сам. В той час, коли над зеленим серцем України здіймається сокира нищення, в той час, коли могутнє дерево нашого роду кличе і благає про допомогу, час стати на захист, допомогти вистояти древнім пралісам Карпат перед лицем пращурів, перед лицем нащадків, перед лицем дарованого нам життя. Карпати – це п'ята частина всіх лісів України, і це ахілесова п'ята. Якщо вирубувати заповідні ліси, наслідки будуть непередбачувані. Знищення пралісів – це знищення здоров'я та майбутнього наших дітей. Карпатська земля відчуває вируки, як мати відчуває синці на тілі своєї дитини. Не залишай кривавих слідів. Голі схили – це хворі легені планети. Чому, заходячи в ліс в пошуках спокою та здоров'я, ми залишаємо за собою хаос, бруд і сміття? Ліс відчуває і добро. Він пам'ятає кожен крок, кожну добру справу. Час захистити ліси, зробити їх національними парками, розширити заповідні території, не чекати позавтра. Буде пізно. Кожне дерево дарує нам кисень, який потрібен сім'ї з 3 людей. Кожен гектар хвойного лісу затримує 40 тонн пилу, захищаючи нас від хвороб. Кожне хвойне дерево затримує до 3 тонн вологи, захищаючи нас від стихії. Ми повинні залишити збережені Карпати дітям, подарувати їм зелені ліси і повноводні ріки, а не кадри унікальної кінохроніки. Ми ще здатні зберегти заповідну красу нашої землі, силою дарованого нам життя та любові. Карпати – місто.
So, conservation of mountain areas and mountain regions can be done by enlarging all protective areas. And this issue, if it's done, it can help to establish a sustainable economy oriented on ecotourism and on economy oriented on ecosystem services. How do we can to encourage conservation of the protected areas? Of course, we first of all should think about activities. What can we do to involve more people to conservation process? We should think carefully about people who will come to our protective area, who will visit, and people who are far away from our protective area who won't come and who will not visit. We should think about activities for them and how they can be involved. For example, activities for people who will be coming and who won't be coming could be outdoor information tables, different conservation activities, events, volunteerism, social advertisement, fundraising, investments, and different fundraising hikes, for example, etc. Now I would like to talk about benefits of ecotourism. Of course, the key and the most important benefit for ecotourism is a community sustainable development. Unlike national parks in the United States, our 25,000 people live in 8 towns and villages within the Carpathian National Nature Park. As the national park always interacts and communicates with local communities. The key benefits of ecotourism for local community is, of course, that ecotourism focuses on pristine natural environments. It builds cultural and environmental awareness of people, encourage positive experience for visitors as well as hosts, and minimizes impacts of tourism on environment. It boosts employment and financial opportunities for local people. It encourages conservation by providing financial benefits in its favor. Ecotourism and sustainable development. It's, of course, two things that go side by side with one another. Tourism requires tools to assist in effective decision making, to come to terms with the economic, social, and environmental demands of sustainable development. Tourism activities generally can create various negative impacts on the surrounding environment. Increased human interference in ecologically fragile areas can cause irreversible change in the existing ecological processes. Otherwise, without any source of income, inhabitants of mountain rural areas will destroy environment by themselves, by illegal logging, poaching, and other types of illegal activities. So I think that ecotourism has more positive than negative impacts on sustainable development. Ecotourism is a key tool for promoting sustainable development in developing countries. Tourism helps in community development by providing the alternative source of livelihood to local community, which is more sustainable. Many view ecotourism as a way to protect the natural environment and create social and economic benefits for local communities. So at the end, I would like to wish each mountain region, each area, each community to be sustainable with help of ecotourism, to find affinity groups to make your season special, and to develop tourism activities and entertainments for your tourists. Thank you for your attention. You can learn more about ecotourism in the Carpathians on the web page discovercarpathians.com. Here we used our new approaches to ecotourism. So we focused this web page on affinity groups and developed activities for each affinity groups. And on this web page, you can see the tourism guidebook, Discover Your Carpathians, and you can also use it for traveling to the Ukrainian Carpathians, for your work, for study, and so on. So thank you once more for your attention.
So thank you very much, Ms. Maryana, for your very, very insightful, very nice presentation. As you have talked on the ecotourism in mountains, particularly in Carpathian region. You talk about assets, challenges, and prospects of ecotourism in Carpathian regions, and also talk about the conservation and benefits coming out from the ecotourism in this region. And you have described this Carpathian National Park very nicely. You have shown some ecotourism sites also. And then a beautiful picture and a beautiful video you have shown. So thank you very much. And then you have also finished your presentation before the time. So it is all good. And thank you very much for your presentation.